Hello and welcome to ARK Survival Evolved. We're on the Extinction map, and I'd say we've reached our first hurdle. Getting over that now. Where I've actually now got a flyer, and that makes the game a lot more easier. So I've got quite a few dinos here just to sort of lay eggs, help me start making kibble. We've got a greenhouse over in the down that area over there. Can't really see it from here, but I built a greenhouse down there to make it so I could start growing crops. The plan was I was going to get myself a high level pteranodon. For that you need dodo kibble, but I've really struggled to find one, to be honest. I mean, I did manage to find a 180 Tabajara, but I don't have the means, shall we say, to make the best use of that. I'd have hit problems with, you know, I wouldn't have gotten the highest levels and so on. So I found this level 95 one, tamed that up, and she'll do. Because really the idea is to go out scouting about. So what I've got is I've got a cooking pot here so that I can start making my kibble. I mean, these are all coming along quite well. So I've got all the vegetables. I put in extra carrots and potatoes over here. I've also, while I've been off camera, I've built an enclosure for Alan the Ankylosaur, because I want to keep him down on the lower ground here. You can see we've got like a defense unit wandering around. I mean, ankylos are pretty strong; they can take care of themselves, but over a period of time, there's a good possibility something might have come along and attacked him. One thing I find with these defense units is they're you don't really get anything for them other than maybe XP. They don't drop anything. So they're a bit more of an annoyance than anything. I'm trying to get behind this thing because you can't hit you from behind. Obviously being a droid, so it's clever to move around. Quite tempted just to get the angle, to be honest. Really seems to take forever. It dishes out a reasonable amount of damage. Tabajaras aren't really like designed for attacking things. That's interesting. Usually when you attack a defense unit or an enforcer, I've noticed this sort of like, you can see a sort of like a progression of damage as their health deteriorates, and I didn't notice anything on that one for some strange reason. So that's odd. Yeah, it's very odd. Every time I've attacked them with a myself, like with a trike, they tend to, you start to see them, they start to get blacker. The metal gets sort of like tarnished until eventually they get destroyed. But anyway, yeah, I'm keeping Alan the Ankylosaur in an enclosure down there just to more to protect them. And now I've got the flyer. What I can do is I can come down here, harvest the metal, the stone, crystals, and so on, and then I can just bring it back with the flyer. But what I want to do today is I want to start going out and exploring the map a bit more. I've already had a sneak preview. I mean, I've been out and about. That right north of where I'm at now is I found that to be a really dangerous area. I didn't quite catch what it was. I think it was a wyvern, and I think it might have been a corrupted one, because there was like a purple breath attack that hit me while I was on a flyer, and that took me out pretty quickly. I mean, my pteranodon that I had, I couldn't outpace it. I just couldn't get away from it. It was I think it was only about like a 120 pteranodon I'd healed up, tamed up rather, so it wasn't particularly you know, fast or anything. I pumped a lot of stamina into it while I was taming it up and looking around the area and what have you. But No, I didn't. Didn't last long, I must admit. So I've no idea what it hit me. I've got a rough idea that it might have been some sort of corrupted wyvern, because that's what I'd seen some in the area, but I started to fly out, and that's when I got hit from behind. Anyway, yeah. So I do want to go out and have a bit more of a look. But what I'm going to do to get started is I'm just coming over to this city terminal. It's over to the west of where I've built that base. Not seeing anything around. But what you can do is you can make scouts here. You can make enforcers. Now these are just pretty much the primitive ones. If you go out and attack enforcers, I've noticed they drop blueprints. The blueprints aren't actually on the body. They're actually dropped as a separate item for some strange reason. And so that's like the basic one's level 1. So that's level 30 for the apprentice. Ramshackle's 18. Mastercraft will get you an 87. And I don't think it matters what level the enforcer is. I think these are random drops. Because I don't remember taking on any particularly really high level enforcers to get this. But what I'm going to do is, I mean, you need a lot of element dust, and you also need a lot of polymer. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to dump this stuff into here, create ourselves just a scout to begin with. If you notice, this is kind of like similar to the beacon that's been on the other maps, because you've got like a you got an option to upload your survivor, download the survivor. You've got an option there to transfer items between maps, transfer creatures between the maps, and so on. So I remember reading in the actual chronicle notes this idea that these were sort of like primitive beacons here. I think they were before we got the full ones out on the likes of the island. So presumably these things got integrated into the actual beacons later on. But anyway, as far as the scout, oh, there's a raptor. Not what I need. We'll just fly up to here. The scouts are pretty easy to make. But they run on element dust. What I found, they do consume quite a lot as well. So basically, just put it into your slot. It's truth. It's not what I needed. Spiders, great. I was quite happily enjoying myself. I was just about to play with a scout until you lot came along. Spoil things for me. Yeah, that's the only downside of the. I think that's the only downside of these higher levels, is that you get spiders. I haven't seen much else around them. There are scouts going around the area. As far as I'm aware, if you attack those, they'll drop blueprints as well, but I haven't really bothered at this stage. So once you put one of these into your slot, just a left click to pretty much to use it, and automatically it puts you in. It gives you sort of like the goggles. If you're finished with them, you'd press, like, say, the E key. Mine's bound to the N key, but and a right click brings it back. So it's in my slot, so I'll select that. Left click deploys it, and it automatically goes into the view mode. So then you can just steer it as normal. I mean, I'm just using the normal keys to steer it. So the blue, anything in blue, I mean, it's highlighting dinos, so we've got blue ones that don't. I mean, I would have thought these are ones that don't pose a threat. I mean, the green you can see, that's mine. That's my Tapajara, and that's me. Blue, I would have thought, was things that don't pose a threat, or at least aren't attacking you. My first thought was it would highlight threatening ones, but I think it's only going to highlight ones in red that actually are attacking you, maybe. But if you notice, like in the bottom left corner, it shows you how much element dust you've got. and that's what it uses. It consumes element dust. So if I press the C key, I'll go down. If I press the space key, I'll go up. So it's similar to flying dinos, really. If you press the right key, it zooms a bit. I think that'll cost you more element dust. Yeah, your element dust gets consumed a lot quicker. Now out here, if I use the mouse wheel, I can scroll out and go into third person. So that's quite useful. Then I move the mouse wheel forward, and I'm back into first person. So it's quite useful for actually seeing. Ah, right, okay. That's interesting. So we do have a range. So there's a distance limit of how far you can go with these. So I'll finish with the scouts here now. So if I press my N key, or the default is the E key, and I go back to my own view, and if I want to bring it back, I press the right key. I notice there's a timer on there. Let me throw that out there, because I think, no, that's interesting. That I think it automatically. I'm pretty sure I didn't notice that. Oh, there you go. There's a red. So there's something in red there. So that must be something that's aggressive, not necessarily that's going to attack you. Yellow, something that's fleeing, I would say. I mean, that makes sense. Red's aggressive and yellow is something that flees. Huh. So if I press the N key, you notice there's a timer there. Now once that's, so I've got about a minute. And I have a funny feeling what happens is, if I don't do anything with that scout, it'll come back. Because it's out there. There's a scout. I've left a scout out there. Let's just see if I yeah, I'm not doing anything. Yeah, I'm not doing anything with it. Ah, no, that's interesting. As soon as every time you use it, it costs you element dust. Moving around, I'm not consuming that much. Now the left click. So I can speed up with the left shift key. Yeah, it might use it a bit more. I would have thought so. So that's kind of put a target on that, I think. That looks like some sort of target marker. Question is, can I see that? Oh yeah, you've got like a little blue. No, that's not much good because I'm down there. So there's a spider down there. I'm not seeing a target marker on it. Ah, right, so there's a target marker. You see like there's a little blue. Ooh. Okay, so it took a bit of damage there when I hit the floor. Ah, now it's... Interesting. So I've gone back. Ah, so yeah, you can see there's a little target marker. So there's my scout there, and there's a little target marker on that spider. Right, so for me to get back in, so okay, so I press the N key and the binoculars went away. So if I press the N key, nothing happens. If I press the left key, I go back towards the drone. So I press the N key and I'm back out. So it's sitting up there for about a minute, and I'm curious to know what it's going to do. I suspect it actually comes back to you if you don't do anything. But I'm wondering about that target marker, because I would have thought that you've got like maybe a minute to do something about that target. Otherwise the drone comes back. But it's interesting that it costs you resources to create it, and presumably it's susceptible to damage. So it means if it gets destroyed, you'd have to keep rebuilding them. But it's a bit frustrating that every time you deploy it, it costs you 20 element dust. So I've almost reached the timer now. So let's see what happens once that timer runs out, because I think it'll just come back. Yeah, because that's what I did originally. I remember. First time I ever used one of these, I just left it. That's interesting then. But anyway, what I want to do is, oh, that's a thought. Actually, I think the marker on that spider will probably be gone now. I suspect the marker only exists so long as this, as long as the drone's out and about. So you've got a very limited time frame where if you're not actually using that drone, in other words, you're not actually actively engaged with it, the drone will come back to you. Which is a bit unfortunate, because it would have been nice to be able to like deploy a drone and then use it as a sort of like a reference marker. I've done it on other games, things like Subnautica, for instance, where I've taken a camera out and used it to mark somewhere I want to go, because I can't tell whereabouts that drone it needs to be. I can't tell on the map where I've left the drone where I want it to be. But now this is interesting. So these are, they look like sulfur over there. So there's all sorts of animals out here. These are the wastelands I was saying. So like, yeah, these are the sulfur fields. So we've got increased food consumption going on while we're out here, and it's extremely hot out here, which would make sense if you're pumping sulfur out. There's all sorts of creatures out here. You've got your normal ones, and then you've got these kind of like purple ones, if you will. These are the that's one thing annoying thing about it as a tapajara is the just trying to use the binoculars while you're actually flying, because the tapajara always moves with you. So these are interesting. So you've got these corrupted dinosaurs out here. If you attack those, you get corrupted nodules. And what's interesting is that even the herbivores, so if you're out and about on you'll actually get attacked by the herbivores. Everything that's corrupted will attack you. I mean, on normal maps, like herbivores have usually just left you alone. So this is interesting that you've got now corrupted ones where even the herbivores will attack you. So I just want to have a quick check of these. So let's see, we've got some spinos out and about. What was that, an arthropleura? Yeah, there's an arthropleura out there. So you've got some normal dinos out and about, and then you've got some of these corrupted ones as well. And those corrupted dinosaurs, they'll just attack. They attack anything and everything. I haven't seen any go into the city mine, which is interesting. Another thing I've noticed is you've got those, they look like enforcement barriers. I think, there's little red, you see these little red lights on top of pillars. If we go there, we're pretty close to the edge of the map. It's quite interesting if you actually go up against the map. Normally you just kind of partially glitch through, or you would bounce off the wall. With these, you actually take damage. I'm just going to double check this because it says sulfur. It says these are sulfur fields. So, oh, hang on, there's a Carno over there. It's not good. There's one spider over there. I just want to go and see if these, if you can mine these. I don't think I'm doing too bad because I've got, I think I've either got, what's my fortitude now? It's 50. There's a spino over there. Let's see if I can mine that. That's annoying, I can't mine that bit. I would have thought you could be able to mine these. Sulfur's something you definitely need. Oh, there's some titan bones there. What about down here? I'll end up getting attacked by that pteranodon. Ah, so there's one of the newer dinos there. It's one of the gas bags. Those things I started trying to tame one of those to see what they're like, and they're a pain in the neck. I think there's a certain mechanic to it because they're not a they're definitely not a passive tame. And I pumped a ton of darts and actually, is that a corrupted one? Because it's got purple on it. Or can you have corrupted ones? I mean, they are passive. They don't bother you at all. Yeah, it's just its colour. They're passive. They don't bother you much. Before I wipe this to start from scratch, I was going to build a trap and see if I could catch one, because the trouble is they keep flying off. I'm going to have to look into this to find out how and if you can mine sulfur over here, because otherwise it's... I mean, I'm going to need sulfur as far as I'm aware. But for some reason I can't mine that. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to pause the game. I'm going to jump ahead to the edge because I just want to test the boundary again, because I'm pretty sure it does definitely damage you. At least it did last time I was near one. So I'll be back in a short while. Well, I've had to come back to the city. I wasn't paying much attention to that warning about the heat, because on Scorched Earth, I mean, I've got 50 fortitude, and I usually just used to go around with like ghillie armor or something on there. Even in extreme heat I wasn't really getting impacted. But out here in those sulfur springs, that warning came on and I just ignored it. My health literally plummeted. I didn't even notice it. I started to eat food to try to regenerate it, but with being out in the wastelands, that there is a warning about food consumption that you've got, and I just wasn't recovering. So I've come all the way back here just to get my health back. I mean, I was eating food, but it wasn't having that much of an effect. So it's I don't remember because when I first played the game, it was before the first patch came out, shortly after. Because I started playing it about a day or two after it had been Extinction had been released. So it does seem to be something you definitely need to be aware of. It's a lot worse than I found Scorched Earth to be. But what I've done is I've come over to the green beacon, because that was fairly close, and you can see there's no like terminal here or anything. Because if you read the Extinction Chronicle notes, it does say that these I think these were sort of like a precursor to the beacons you see on the other maps. But part of the reason I also came here is because, if you're interested, there's a Paladin Note 1s here. First one I ever found was here. Because that's what I tend to do, is just go straight out looking for the beacons. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to I'm going to wait here to heal up. Then I'll go out to the edge because I just want to test that that edge again. Because last time I was trying it, I did start taking damage as soon as I hit the like an invisible wall. So I'll be back in a short while. Well, now I'm healed up. I'm back out in the wasteland, and what I found out here is one of these. I think it's some sort of orbital pod. I noticed I haven't seen any sort of like drops that you would normally get, loot crates, that sort of thing. But one thing I have noticed is you've got these dotted around. You've got these orbital pods. I'm just checking. I think there's a spider around here. Oh, there it is. Yeah. If you go near that, you see how that starts to expand out. What I was doing the last time I was near one of these, I actually started attacking it, and it ended up with like a blue shield around it. And I think you had like there was a wave. I think it said something like there was 5 waves you had to defeat. I mean, it had about like 10,000 hit points. It was a lot of hit points on it. I mean, now it didn't matter whether I was hitting it with the Pteranodon or with a pickaxe or anything. It was pretty much about 11. Oh yeah, I was getting about 11 out of it. So it looks like there's maybe there's some sort of like a loot crate that you've got to go after. But yeah, there was 5 waves, which suggested, because pretty much as soon as I started hitting one of them, there was about 3 Pteranodons suddenly came at me. So it'll be interesting to check out what they are. I mean, at the moment I'm just exploring to see what's out here. Better get this Tina stamina back first. But that's interesting because this one, as soon as I went near it, it suddenly put up this defense field of some sort. Just have a look. Yeah, I mean I can fly in and out. I mean, I'm not taking any damage or anything. Interesting enough, the last one, as I say, the first time I came across one, it was a blue shield that it put up. Let's make sure that Pteranodon isn't coming for me. So we've got some T-Rexes. So where I'm at is pretty much on the western fringe of the map. So what I want to do is, I just want to go up against the border here, because you've got these, I wouldn't call them beacons as such. Kind of look like floodlights of some sort. I mean, I'm not seeing anything up there. But you hear that crackling? I still haven't figured what this crackling is. Every so often, it's, what time is it? It's 6:47. So let's just go up, and I'm going to just touch the edge, because last time I came across here, it suddenly warned that my talisman was doing something or other. Ah, see, the crackling's ended, but you can hear this little beep noise, which I'm assuming is that thing up there. Well, let's see what happens when I go up against the border. Ah, there you go. So it seems both of us started taking damage. Yeah, both of us started taking damage as soon as we touched the border. None of the other maps have done that, which is interesting. Usually there's a sort of a border of the actual map itself, because you've got like these are just like space stations. So you're bouncing off a wall, if you will, otherwise you would end up in outer space, I would imagine. These are interesting because they're actually enforcing some sort of... So there's like, you can see there's something beyond that. There was barriers, but it's physically preventing you from going out there. Well, I say physically, it's trying to prevent you. If you keep going further, you would start taking damage. So there's, from what I can tell, like obviously if you go towards those sulfur springs, you do get much more impacted by the heat. than you certainly did on the likes of Scorched Earth, I've found. So the next place I want to go to is if we head up to the northwest corner there. I'm going to head up there, see what's up there, and I'll bring you back once I get there. I haven't quite reached the top corner, but I just thought I'd bring it back because we're reaching an area here. Was it still part of the wasteland? I think that was called the lowlands or something, but I'm finding Rexes, tech Rexes. There was a Therizino just down there getting attacked by those corrupted Stegos. Yeah, I think that's a Therizino that was getting attacked down there. Yeah. May as well make the most of it. I mean, I've seen quite a lot of the familiar dinos out on the map. But at least now I know there's Therizinos out here. I mean, there's not that much to that structure over there that I've noticed. But anyway, I'll keep heading north, and if I find anything more interesting, I'll bring you back. Okay, I hadn't really gone actually that far, and I can see there was a couple of RGs down there. So that's interesting. So again, we're on the western side of the map. So that's useful to know, is that there are RGs down here. One thing I've noticed though, I actually tried to land on here so I could get stamina, and I seem to have glitched right through. So that's something to bear in mind. You can't necessarily land on everything. That kind of got me worried there a bit. I thought I was going to glitch into the actual wall, into the rock. Now this is, I'll just keep moving on because actually this is an interesting bit up here. So rather than just pausing the video, I mean I do need to stop and get some stamina for Tina here. But there's an underground area over here. I mean I've had a look around already, as you can see on the map there, to the east. You can see that little green blob, if you will. I'm just going to get her some stamina, but I think this was a way down to something. Oh, that's good. I didn't glitch through anything. But you can see there, like an underground area. I'm going to have to be really careful though around here, because I say there was like something ganked me out here. When I first came on this map and started looking around. We've definitely got something down here, which is like, yeah, there's an obelisk down here. So this is I'd say this is pretty much like an underground area, because I managed to fly around. Nothing particularly like jumped out at me or at all. I think this will be probably something, if I can find the resources. I might be tempted to build a base underground. It would make more sense, because I've actually seen meteor storms at one point. I'm wondering if that rocket sound is an orbital thruster, because I thought I've come across these orbital pods. At first I thought there was like rocket sounds with like the drones or something, but I'm beginning to wonder if they're actually orbital pods coming down. Oh, what's this? Ah. So let's see, where are we then? So say about what, 23, I need to get myself a GPS. Ah, so it's an explorer mode. I should really finish off gathering all the explorer notes. I only did so many. But this is like a big underground area here. I think I'd spend ages having to search through here, looking for a base location. I'd have to find like metal. There's plenty of wood already. There's a crystal down there. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go back up because I just want to have a quick scout around to the surface really. This is a big area. I mean, it's, as I say, it's somewhere I'd want to build a base, I think, if it's got all the resources. Because that's what I want, is a place where there's water, metal, wood, stone, all the things that I'd need. So I'm going to head back up top, and I think the next place will be probably like the snow biome over in the northeast corner. So I'll get back out there, and if I see anything on the way, I'll bring you back. Otherwise, we'll just be back again once we reach the snow biome. Well, if you're into base building around waterfalls, there's an interesting one around here. We've got that. It's right on the edge. It's not. It's recording as being in the wasteland here. I mean, there's quite a lot of metal nodes here. I've noticed there's a thylacoleo out here. There's a rock drake wandering around as well over there. Just in front of me you can see a rock drake. Well, it's got itself invisible at the moment. But if you head up down to here, I mean, I'm still not like up in the far north yet. I mean, well, I'm further east now, but you've got this this big waterfall here, and that harsh condition should disappear shortly. Or at least it wasn't here a minute ago. But you've got a nice big waterfall there. That's interesting, that, because I was over here and it wasn't reporting that as being harsh conditions. I better land and get some stamina. So you've got a waterfall there, a waterfall up there. There was some metal nodes a bit further to the back. I mean, there's no sign of trees or anything. You'd have to get your wood from somewhere else by the looks of it. I wonder if that was down. It was odd that, because I came out and harsh condition. Oh, there you go. See, the harsh conditions have gone. See, there's no harsh conditions around here. But as soon as you get to here, it pops back up again. So, I mean, it's not too bad a place. It's just, yeah, I think the problem would be wood. Anyway, I'll keep searching as I head towards the snow biome. I've just come out a slight distance away from where that waterfall area is, and there's actually quite a lot of trees over here. I mean, you've obviously got like a lot of dinos to deal with. But there's quite... Oh, there you go. Whoa, there's a wyvern over there. Oh, because I was looking up in that... right up there, roughly where the... right in front of me up there, that looks a bit odd. I don't think I can get past it because of the barrier. I was beginning to wonder if it was like a rock drake nest or something, but... okay, you can see there's wyverns around here, so that's something you'll have to bear in mind. I think these are the ones that must have been attacking me before, these type. But this area, I mean, it's crawling with, literally crawling with corrupted dinos and all sorts, but there is some wood out here. Now, I think this wood, I've come across some wood that actually gives you, obviously, wood. Just see what these trees are like. Yes, that's a normal tree. Because I've come across some trees in my time in the wasteland that they're actually giving you fungal wood. It was fungal wood and some sort of blue gem. I'll have to find out. But no, I mean that's a thought anyway. So I mean, you can get your water, you can get your metal, stone and wood around here. Let's check this one here. Ah! There you go. So that one gives you... That's a kind of a... That kind of makes sense because it's got a red colour to it. So that gives you a... red crystallized sap, so it's equivalent of a red gem. There are some other ones I've seen in the wasteland which give you blue, and that's equivalent of a blue gem. But you get fungal wood instead of normal wood as well. Oh, jeez Louise, I'm gonna have to be careful because there's that wyvern over there. Anyway, actually, I wonder what that is over there. Oh, truth, I don't wanna pull one of them things. There's no way I want to pull a wyvern with this. I wouldn't stand a chance. I'm going to get up to a higher level here because I want to see what I'm up against here. It's an interesting view of the skyline because there's the sun up there. I'm going to try and find the moon because the moon, it looked like the moon had been destroyed. I mean, what time is it? It's getting on for like 2 o'clock, so there's the sun over there in the sky. There's the blue dome over there. I feel a bit safer up here. But that looks like a corrupted wyvern. So I think where I'm at, if you look, there's a big gap in the map, and that's where I was heading to when I was last looking at the place, and I was just toast. That didn't last 5 minutes. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to keep heading over towards that snow biome. I'll bring you back once I get there, or again if I find something else interesting.